Every week, my mother and I sit down to discuss colleges and which ones I should apply to. Last month, I casually brought up the idea of taking a gap year before going to college. My mother lost it. She told me that I didn't have time for a gap year. As a woman, I need to finish college, start my career, get married, and have kids, and I'm running out of time to do it all. This was the first time I've heard this. I have to do all this, and there's a deadline? In the English language, there's a saying. Men age like wine, and women age like milk. Despite the popularity of feminist ideals and emancipation, women still don't have the right to age the way they want to. This brings me to my problem today. Women have the age at which they expired, and doing certain things at those ages would be considered late. Medium 19 agrees by saying, that's right, if you're an adult woman around the age of 30 or so, you might expire soon or have already done so without even knowing it. Guys don't know this, but a lot of women feel pressure to live their whole lives at an early age. My mom tells me that I should find a husband in college and have a baby in my early 20s, but why should I? If I want to find a husband and have a baby in my 40s, why can't I do that? Women have an expiration date, but that is counterintuitive to how we are progressing as a society. We can further explore and analyze this. First, checking the data and why and how this problem exists in society. Before next, sifting the content of the causes and effects, and lastly, extending this expiration date by stopping the age and gender discrimination of older women. But before we talk about how to solve the issues, we need to first understand the problems. The first problem is that workplaces don't like or accept older women. Older women have fewer job opportunities, are given less responsibility at work, and sometimes even pushed out of their jobs. One key statistic from the Quartz 19 finds that 58% of the women surveyed thought that the identities and physical attributes impacted their experiences at work. And of all the identity factors, age was the most popular answer among the women surveyed, playing a bigger role than gender in the workforce. Let's take a look at the most popular genre of music today, K-pop. The most popular artist is BTS. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're known to have millions of screaming fans who, according to K-pop Star 20, has a net worth of $3.5 billion. And the closest female K-pop group, Girls' Generation, only has a net worth of 50 million. The K-pop industry is so competitive that kids literally have to start at a very young age if they want to be successful. And most K-pop casting agents don't even look at women in their 20s. Women in female K-pop groups are made to look young and fashionable. The moment they start to look older, they are forgotten. And that's how fast their expiration date is. Now, the second issue of women expiring is society's expectations that women are required to go through life experiences at a certain age. The thing about being a woman is that we must do things before we expire. For example, when I was searching this topic on Google, I found this gem of advice from HuffPost 15 titled 25 Things Every Woman Should Be Able to Do by Age 25. Then I found this overall lifetime timeline from it, which shows the ages we are supposed to experience life events. Apparently, by 15 years old, you're supposed to have your first kiss. And by 18, say your first I love you. And by the age of 24, get your first full-time job. But if I want to have children, then I should have that done by the age of 35. So that only leaves a few years to find the right partner and get married. Ouch! How am I supposed to keep up? In addition, according to the Telegraph 15, in the 2012 movie Flight, Denzel Washington's 57, while his partner Kelly Riley was 35. In the 2014 movie Transcendence, Johnny Depp was 49, while his lady Rebecca Hall was 30. And in 2013's Oblivion, Tom Cruise is 50, while his co-star Ugla Kurilenko was only 33. This isn't surprising, however. We've seen this young hot wife trope in movies and TV shows ever since the 1950s. And while we do see older women in Hollywood being successful in leading roles, it isn't as the sexy love interest. Hollywood's expiration date is setting a terrible example for the rest of us. There are two main causes to this concept of expired women: ageism and gender discrimination. Beginning with ageism, or the discrimination of age, this seems to happen because society thinks that older people are useless and boring. Children see older people being disrespected and grow up thinking they're useless when they find themselves turning 60 or 65. We don't expect or encourage healthy aging. Everyone who is 65 thinks it's all downhill from here. I mean, just look at how millennials look at boomers. Gender discrimination is another cause of this wrongful expiration date. A huge factor that causes gender discrimination is uneven access to education. Human Rights Career finds that around the world, women still have less access to education than men. 1/4 of the young women between 15 and 24 will not finish primary school. When girls are not educated on the same level as boys, it will have a huge effect on the future and the kinds of opportunities that they'll get. As a result, women will be afraid of aging and therefore rush through their younger years. Women have always wanted to look good. Cleopatra took baths in milk, and Roman women spent hours in the sauna trying to moisturize their skin. All women want to look beautiful and young. But today, being young is something that people worship, and signs of aging are something to be ashamed of. Getting rid of wrinkles, dyeing their gray hair, all more common than ever before. Odyssey 17 states how women are constantly stuck in a cycle of rushing things, never stop to admire the life and everything around us. We are pressured and anxious about being left behind in a crowd where we should have gone at our own pace to become a leader in our own lives. Last summer, my grandma sent me a picture of an avocado that she was growing. And I thought that she had nothing else to do in life, but then I realized that wasn't the case. It's that she can't do anything else in life because society places restrictions on how useful you are at a certain age, and my grandma just cradled with those ruthless expectations. So, let's look at some solutions to this problem, starting with how the world can change, and then focusing on yourself. The world can first start by valuing women's education and not discriminating against them. Court 19 proposes a good solution. They suggest legislation and procedures used by federal, state, and local government agencies implement laws to increase gender equity. We're consistently overlooked in the workforce and in society where society doesn't ask women for their opinions. Well, if we can start getting a better education, we can start to take better jobs with more power so older women won't be discriminated. But right now, the most important thing that we must work on is developing a healthy, robust sense of self. Being comfortable in our own skin, learning to speak our own truth in a mature way, and learning how to look after ourselves and not need other people's validation or approval. Let me give you a tip when it comes to age. You must never allow anyone to diss your age. I do not care if you're 14 or 99, or anything in between. I am fortunate at 14, and I will be fortunate at 99. Today, we discovered the theory of expired women by looking at the problems, causes, effects, and solutions. Starting out this speech from the problems of expired women and how society places high expectations on it. Then the causes of women rushing through life where they eventually give up on themselves, before lastly finding some solutions to this expiration date and helping women find some confidence in their own skin. All women have one thing in common: a stamp printed on their forearms which announces how long they have before this expiration date arrives. But this stamp is just what society puts on, so it's not permanent. Are we worthless after we turn 30? Or can things be different? Can we decide for ourselves who we are, who we aspire to be, what really matters? With each question asked, the thoughts of women start to change, and the expiration date tattoos disappear. You are more than just your age. Don't let others put an expiration date on you. Now, there's one thing that women and milk have in common. They both expire very fast, but it doesn't have to be that way. Just as the milk industry is creating many different alternatives, women are creating their own timelines. Success in life does not have to follow society's blueprint. I can take my time to create the life I want on my own. Besides, a latte with soy milk tastes better anyways. So grab yourself a soy latte and enjoy the time while you still have it. Expiration dates are for food, not for women anyways.
Thanks for watching.